Hello, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you. I want to make an updated video and I want to share with you all how I go about applying tattoo stencils to fake skin. If you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I'm going to highly encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. I do also have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. I would truly appreciate your support over there as well. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button and ring that bell for me, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. If you enjoy my channel and find my content helpful, consider becoming a Patreon or sending over a super thanks, as I would truly appreciate your support. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive straight on into this. For this demonstration, I am going to be using the Reelskin 2D double-sided arm. I will leave links for you in the description below, and I've also have videos where I did this entire arm right here. Be sure to check those out. Here is the Reelskin 2D double-sided arm, and I'm going to be using this design that I printed onto a spirit stencil paper, and it is a tiger mandalas type of design here, and I'm going to cut it out so that way I can begin to line it up. Here I have the design cut out. From here, what I want to do is I kind of want to take a look at the arm, and I want to start lining it up just to get an idea of how it would look. So what I'm focusing on is this point of the design and this point of the design. I want it to match up with the arm while trying to get the most amount of stencil on the arm. So I think that I'm going to place it somewhere around here. So at this point, you want to look at your fake skin and you want to figure out where you're going to be placing down your stencil. I'm personally not going to make any marks, as I don't want them to dry on the fake skin, so I'm going to go ahead and eyeball it for this one. After I've determined where I want my stencil to be placed, I'm going to apply a stencil applicant. For this, I'm going to be using Greencard. This is what I've been using to apply my stencils to my fake skins, and it works great. So that's where I'm going to begin. I'm going to begin with applying a generous layer of Greencard to the area that I'm going to be applying the tattoo stencil to. I'm going to bring you close up so you can see what a generous layer looks like of stencil applicant on fake skin. Taking a close-up look at the Reelskin 2D double-sided arm here, you can see the stencil applicant there, and that there is a generous amount of it applied to the skin. Let me show you an area that doesn't have any. So right here, there is no stencil applicant, but you can see the applicant right here. So you want to make sure that you have a generous layer before we continue to the next step. Make sure it's over the entire area that you're going to be tattooing, and then from here what I'm going to want to do is just remove a little bit of excess. The reason is I don't want the stencil to bleed and or blur when I place it down. I want it to stay true to its original integrity as much as I can get it, and doing so I apply a generous layer, and then I remove any excess until it's kind of tacky all over. And for me, this is the best way to approach applying stencils to fake skin for me, from my experience. To each their own, but this is how I currently go about it, and it works pretty well for me. I want to make sure that I don't remove too much, but I don't want to also have too much. So this is the area right here that's probably the most important. We want to make sure that we have that fine balance. So I do feel like this is pretty good. We can pat things down just a little bit more. And if we don't have enough stencil applicant, then the stencil is not going to transfer. If we have too much, it's going to bleed. So I feel like we have enough here. And then from this point, I'm going to proceed and apply the stencil as best as I can here. So I'm going to place it down like so, and then from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Scotch shop wipe. I'm going to place it down, and then from there I'm going to grab a Scotch shop wipe and proceed to press it down. There we go. Like so. When I press down, I'm not going to press down and smear. All I'm doing is I'm just applying pressure to the design, and I'm also not pressing down super hard. I'm just giving it like a natural pressure, as I would a real client. If this is a real client, we're not going to be jamming their arm down, so you want to be kind of natural with it. Try to use your imagination and mimic the same motions that you think you would do on a real client. So I'm just making sure that I'm pressing this down as best I can. This is a more detailed design, especially in the animal area, so I want to make sure that I can transfer as much of those details as possible. Then I'm just going to take a look at the stencil. Sometimes you can kind of see where you're not pressing down enough. I think though we may get a decent stick. So from here, let's proceed to remove this stencil, and this is what we are with. At this point, what I want to do is I want to place a clean Scotch Shop wipe down, and I want to press down and remove any excess Greencard and stencil, so that way I don't get any bleeding and or blurring. You can see that there is a lot of excess still coming off, so that's why I do that, and it also lightens the stencil up. I don't need the stencil super dark for the fake skin, but you get the idea behind that. So I'm going to repeat that process again over here, trying to remove excess Greencard and lightening up the stencil at the same time. I would recommend not skipping this step right here, so that way you could avoid bleeding. One thing that I found out was, as my stencils dried, and I didn't do this, when they were done drying, everything would bulge out and blur out just a little bit more. After I started applying this specific technique where I remove the excess and try to lighten up the stencil by doing what I just showed you, I experienced less blurring and bleeding upon drying. From here, you can repeat this process as many times as you think you will need. I typically do it 2 to 4 times until I'm not getting any stencil on the napkin itself when I take it off. Or until I feel like I'm done, because you got to be careful. You could end up removing more than you anticipated. So just be mindful, be aware of how much you want to remove. I think that is looking pretty good right there, and this is what I have here. From here, we can choose to wait until it air dries, or we can use a heat gun to dry it quickly. For those who are similar to me, I would much rather dry this with the heat gun, so that way I can get to tattooing within the next 5 to 10 minutes, as opposed to having to wait 12 to 24 hours. The reason why we would have to wait to let it air dry is because once we start tattooing and touching the stencil around and dabbing away, it starts losing the stencil. So the stencil does easily rub away if we don't allow it to dry, whether air dry or with a heat gun. So I'm going to use a heat gun. I'll leave links for you in the description below so you can check it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run back and forth through the entire thing. And you're also going to notice that this is also going to darken up as well. So allow me to show you. You don't want to stay in one area too long. I'm not trying to burn the fake skin. What I am trying to do is apply heat so that way it dries up and we don't lose the stencil. Here we have the tattoo placed down and dried up and ready to be tattooed. Me personally, I love the way that it came out. I also love the way that it looks. From here on out, it's just technically applying the tattoo correct and doing the best that I possibly can to complete this tattoo right here. There you have it. That is how I go about applying tattoo stencils to fake skin. If you have any questions at all, I'm going to encourage you to drop a comment down below. I will do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. I will leave links for you in the description below so you can check out this 2D double-sided arm on your end. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button for me and ring that bell, as I'm going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. I do also have social medias under the same name as this YouTube channel. I would truly appreciate your support over there as well. If you enjoyed this video and find my channel helpful, consider becoming a patron or sending over a super thanks, as my family and I would appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. You have a great day.